All right, we're going to be doing some testing here. We're going to find out how difficult it is to trade a $100 account on Tradovate, or if that's even doable. My experience primarily with trading a really small account has been in Forex because, account minimums in Forex and margin requirements are very, very different, and it's incredible, honestly, what you can do with a small account in Forex. But can you trade futures with a small account? And we're going to find out together. I'm going to explain to you guys what is required, what you can and can't do. Okay. As you guys can see here, this is a live $100 account that I just made this deposit. And we just got that thing deposited the other day. It does take about 3 business days for your deposit to go through. So that's the kind of frustrating part too compared to Forex, is that, with Forex, everything's crypto because obviously everything's fake trading, which I'll explain that later. But it's just so interesting, like the order fills, all that stuff, and just if you understand how Forex A book and B book works, etc., etc., it gets really wild. So I'm like, you know what? One, I've been trading futures for a minute now with prop firms and stuff, but I have yet to realistically trade a live funded futures account, which I think is so goofy. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and do it. Now, with that said, we do have that $100 deposit already put into this account, and I'm going to walk you guys through a few things here. Jesus Christ. So this morning, I actually didn't trade it all this morning. Yesterday morning, me and my buddy, we like to trade micro, E-mini, NASDAQ 100. Okay, this is what I trade when I trade futures on prop firms and stuff like that. And yes, I've had plenty of prop firm futures payouts, but regardless, this is what I always trade. Now, is what I find interesting about this, aside from, just whatever, we were sitting here yesterday morning, and when we were sitting here, we were like, man, the market is just doing its own thing, whatever, cool. But there was no trade to be had, so we didn't take any trades, right? I mean, look at this from the market weekend over the open. I mean, that's a 200-point gap, and then just what the heck is going on? So no trades were taken, and then yesterday morning, or this morning, I guess, I was quite a bit hungover, and then I was like, screw it. We're just going to go ahead and try to jump into a trade. And I noticed it said order rejected whenever I tried to place the trade. I tried to place a singular contract, sell contract up here at 26.2 area, and it said order rejected. And I'm like, okay, I guess you can't trade, a $100 account. And, you look into it online, there's all sorts of different stuff. Even AI was really kind of confused about it. So I'm like, okay, let me go to Tradovate's website. And if you go to trading and you go to margins, right, which is the page we're on, you can see here it says day and initial, okay, group, day, initial, blah, 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 blah. All right, so this is going to be your maintenance margin, meaning if you hold a trade over into the next day or something, you need this much money in your account if you're trading that specific asset to carry that trade over. Okay, that's what they call maintenance margin. So I personally don't care about that because I don't do that by any means. At least not right now. I do think it'd be cool one day to have an account that I can do a swing trade with. But again, you can see you have to have a substantial amount of money in a lot of cases to be able to carry that over. Now, the biggest thing here is the day trading margin, okay? With the day trading margin, as you can see, to trade Bitcoin Cash, you need at least $50 there for whatever. I mean, what is this? 20 grand CME Bitcoin? Like, it can get wild. So I'm over here trying to trade NASDAQ. And what's happening is I'm getting order rejected. And as I'm getting order rejected, I'm like, what the heck? So I come in here, and obviously, where are we at? E-mini NASDAQ 100. So that's the mini. I'm over here trying to trade the micros though. So that's gonna be, let me see here, MNQ. So let's just search it up. Let's search it up here. Boom, right here. And as you can see, you need $100 of margin to actually place a position. And yes, I do have it, but between the cost and etc., that's why it rejected my position altogether. It would have just straight liquidated me if it would have went through. But here's what I've done is I took this previous list that was all here, and we went to ChatGPT and we asked it a very simple question. Can you organize this top down for the lowest amount of day trading volume required that I need to be able to trade certain assets? And in this case, it went ahead and listed it all out for me. So as you can see, your day trade margin right here, and then you have your maintenance margin just like we showed over there. And these are your $25 ranges, which I'm not a crypto guy. I don't want to trade Coinbase, nothing like that. Then we've got Bitcoin Cash, Dogecoin, Litecoin, all this other crap that you can see. Again, day trade margin is $50. Okay, so this is the $50 initial day trade margin is the range or the assets that we will be able to actually place a trade on. All right. And if you look here from here up, eMicro Gold, which I guarantee you I would not. We're only going to be trading micros, or you only want to consider micro accounts or assets to be trading. I'm sorry. So for me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, what are my options here? I can't trade the NASDAQ 100 until I make a little bit of money. Honestly, you shouldn't really trade it until you can make about $200 to $300 in the account, and then you can. So, what's next, right? Well, I'm thinking the best case here, micro, E-mini Dow, yeah, MYM. So we're going to be looking at the micro E-mini Dow and the micro E-mini S&P 500. So you have to understand how these two markets move, okay? So from what I understand, MES, which if we go back over here, this is the micro E-mini Dow. This is going to be the S&P 500. So with that said, this thing you're going to make or lose about 50 cents, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So MES, you're looking at every point of movement, you're looking at a $5 change in your account. Whereas MYM, micro E-mini Dow, you're looking at a 1 point is 50 cents. So I can tell you right now that the Dow is, a lot more aggressive in a sense of price change, actual price change. But again, each point in the market that it moves, you're only going to look at a 50 cent change. So you can manage quite a bit there. You have the margin to do it, and you can actually you can take 50-cent swings, okay? Because this thing upon market open is probably going to be pretty aggressive. Like for example, this right here is your 8:30 candle at market open, and we can see that is about what, 100 point of a change, roughly, give or take. Yeah, 927 to, oh shit, we're looking at the S&P. I'm over here trying to look at this. So yeah, 47, there we go. The micro E-mini Dow, that's what I'm talking about right now. So yeah, again, the open change is going to be pretty aggressive. Let me go to a 15 and pull this all up. Let's look at an 8:30 candle. Boom, there's the market open. So I want you guys to understand how far this thing normally moves. And you're looking at from 48,090 roughly, 80, to 47,880. And 150 points roughly, give or take. Even more. 150 points-ish. Anyways, so 150 points times 50 cents, that's like, what, 300, that's 150 points times 0.5. Let me see. Why is my brain not working? Yeah, $75. So see what I'm saying? You can kind of withstand that move quite a bit more. Whereas if you go over here on the micro E-mini S&P, this is still 927 to 914, 915. So this is still $50. Okay, so it's I guess it's kind of similar. But I personally like the Dow quite a bit better. But yeah, so can you trade a $100 account? Looks like you can. Sounds like we're going to. Again, I'm not going to trade right now. We're going to trade tomorrow morning at the market open. But with that said, that's how you're going to do it.